today we're going to be slicing into a fresh box of vintage. So stay tuned and let's check out the re-release of the Turbo Scorpion from Kyosho. Hey guys, Rich here from the RCNetwork.com, and today we have the brand new Kyosho Turbo Scorpion. Now I say brand new in a past tense version. Of course, this is the re-release of the 80s classic from Kyosho. Now the Turbo Scorpion was the kind of updated version of the original Scorpion. It has a bunch of features that just made this to be the ultimate two-wheel drive 1/10 scale buggy out on the racetrack. Now, of course, this is a kit version from Kyosho, so you do have to put it together. You have to supply all of your own electronics, and in this video, I'll be showing some of the other things you may need to supply. So, unsure a little bit now because, of course, I haven't opened the box yet. Need to find that stuff out. Out of all of the vintage re-releases that Kyosho has done, this is the most limited version so far. This only had one production run, so if you want a Turbo Scorpion and you see one, you better pick it up quick because these things will sell out very quickly. Now, as we start to look at the buggy here on the cover page or the cover box, most notable features on the Turbo versus the original Scorpion is it had 2.2-inch wheels now, so a little bit lower profile tire. This thing just handled like a dream. It also had a widened front track width, so a lot wider than the stock Scorpion and many other buggies of the time. It also had lengthened shock hoops up here that allowed to mount 12mm big bore Optima shocks. So this was the first one of the two-wheel drive sector to opt for the Optima shocks, both front and rear. Also, the trailing arms were just a little bit lengthened to lengthen the wheelbase to just improve handling overall. And just once again, this is a great improvement over the original, and I've got it here, so let's crack it open. As with all my unboxings, got my handy Spyderco, and let's crack this thing open. So it looks like we have two seals. We're gonna go ahead and shear these things with my Spyderco and dive in to this vintage Turbo Scorpion. Of course, the re-release, so it definitely has that nostalgia when you open these things up. And this is what I like about Kyosho kits. It just looks like it's a kit from the 80s. It has all the nostalgia of the blister packs. You have the body right here peeking out. Let me move the camera around and we'll take a bird's eye view. All right, so as we look into here, we have everything in individual blister packs, which is pretty cool. Right here is the front wheels, and we're already seeing the Sand Super little tire, the white markings right there, and of course the rear tires. It's kind of like a more of a modern pin design, so ribbed fronts, pin design on the rear, so pretty nice. We do have a transmission right here, it looks to be, and then also some kind of cast aluminum housing going around it, so very nice as well. Right here's a look at the body. This thing is pretty minimal, or this is actually the interior and portion of the body, so very minimal. And then of course the little driver head sits right on top of there. Just got to paint this thing up, and Kyosho kits are always easy to paint up because they give you great decals. You pretty much paint this up in white, and they supply all the other color to give it that vintage look. Right here is a look at the under chassis. So this is where the battery actually sits on this side, all molded plastic, very stout. This thing is not moving around. So this is a bottom loading battery tray right here. Very nice. As we look into this box, and this is the heavy box, this has everything in it. And we're seeing the blister pack on the outside of it. We're seeing, of course, the Optima red shocks right there. We have all the arms right there. We have all sorts of aluminum bits and pieces, gear mount, rear shock stay, front shock stay, super tall as well. We do have the differential gear right there, so very nice. It looks to be pre-built. We'll have to check that out once we open the blister pack. And let's take a look inside of this huge box right here. This is going to be everything else inside the kit. So let's crack this thing open as well. There we got the foams for the tires. So just standard open cell foams right there. Nothing too special, but these will definitely work in this vehicle. I'm going to run a brushed vintage style setup in this kit as well. Right here's the plastic parts bin. We see the battery tray right there, the wing for the rear, all sorts of different plastic pieces, including, I believe this is part of the cage, so it has that kind of sand rail look to it. You know, all sorts of stuff. Going to start building this actually right after this video. We do have the chassis rails. It looks to be, it is kind of a rail chassis. Included tools from the Kyosho kit right there as well. Looks like we have some extra parts, some E-clips and little spring retainers and aluminum parts, so very nice. As we look into bag D, yes, the D bag. Tape, we have some sort of long rod. I believe this is the steering rod. Servo's mounted way in the back of this vehicle, so it needs a long steering rod. Other little bits of aluminum there. Looks like we have some turnbuckles, whatnot, little antenna, little baby antenna right there. And last thing to come out of here, box is empty. We have the E-bag, so this is going to be all the good stuff. So we have Kyosho grease, shock oil, looks to be 300 CST 25 weight oil, thread lock. They're giving you everything in the kit, which is nice. Kyosho does a good job of that. We do have some E-clips in there, shock springs. We have the rail that goes up around behind the driver, all sorts of aluminum pieces, and what looks to be some differential pieces. So that differential may not be fully built. I'll have to check that out. And finally, we have catalog from Kyosho, which is always nice. They're going to give me some tempting items in here that I may want here in the future. And this is the good stuff. Lots of decals. So you have all of the scale decals. We have all of the color decals underneath it to give it that vintage look. And of course, the instruction manual from Kyosho. Well guys, that has been my quick little unboxing here of the Turbo Scorpion. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I can't wait to build this. I'm gonna probably do an hour-long video once it's edited of how this thing builds up. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna work on that here a little bit later. Hopefully I can get all the footage for you guys and get this thing out and get it up and running and see what it can do. Well guys, that is it for now. Comments, questions on down below. And as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.